this is actually a completed piece. This piece and another one. They will be in a show in February in Los Angeles. The palette of this collection is all derived from basically that color back there. So this gray that I've developed is actually a variation of these, I don't know, desert reds. Because I'm making my own colors with dry pigment and gesso and marble dust, I have the privilege of creating this unique palette, which is something I really like to do. The problem is that how can you capture this color again? Because this one I need to sort of touch up a little bit, and that's a problem, but it's also fun and a challenge, because it's the idea of, you know, the discipline of capturing something again. It may not be exactly the same. So here is a surface. Remember, it's that same salmon, red, rust. You can, I don't care what words you use, but they all are derived from this palette. I have all of these almost finished, but in various stages. So the decision making, again, it's like putting the puzzle together. You know, is this going to look good on this? Or would this be better on this? Or would this be better on this? It all evolves every time you make a mark, every time you put a stitch, every time you make a placement. The needle point under this is quite larger than this. I'm just going to show you a little bit of. Now I'm not going to cut out anymore because I really need to go on the back and see if these are two separate needle points or not. This one I'm trying out. Again, this deep charcoal also has this rich, rusty, salmony red base. So you can make so many colors, so many neutrals with a base. You can add white to do that. You can add complement to get this dark, or add black. So your whole gamut of colors is just like opening up a gift basket. These two shapes are pretty much established, and I started to stitch them in the front, and then started making this bridge-like grid that I do, like scaffolding or what do you call them, bridges? Trussels. And some of this will be painted over because I want to put another layer on this too. And I like the idea of having stitching under that's covered. Then I'll go back and determine how the trellis will become. Most of them, there's no really top and bottom until I get to a certain point, because this could easily work this way. There's still movement. There's still a lot of negative space. There's still the idea of this, you know, kaleidoscope of color that you can zero in on. And then it almost seems like, are these two pieces? Are they one piece? You know, how do they relate? How do I make them relate? Do I want them to look exactly the same? Obviously not. And that's part of how I determine placement, but it's also how I determine, let's see, the high contrast. You know, this flat, gritty, chalk-like surface with these intricate little obsessive embroidery needlepoint. I really like the high contrast. It's not the first time I've put needlepoint into paintings, but it's the first time I'm sticking to a relatively solid field of color with the multicolored embroidery interfering into the surface. And actually they're coming from the back. So in your imagination, you could say, if I rip this, would there be more of this underneath? Almost like looking for, an artifact or something else.